JoLynn Braley Show, episode number 274, The Truth About Restrictive Eating. Welcome back to the JoLynn Braley Show. This is JoLynn Braley, permanent weight loss coach, weight loss mindset expert, founder of the Inner Self Diet. The diet that is not a diet, meaning that I don't tell my coaching clients what kind of food they have to eat or what kind of exercise they have to do. Instead, my coaching clients know exactly how to lose weight in a healthy way. They know so much about nutrition that they could teach a class on it. Their problem is they're not doing it. They are stuck. They are battling emotional eating, binge eating, food obsessions, food addictions, and they're sabotaging themselves. They're holding themselves back. And so what I do with my awesome coaching clients in the Inner Self Diet is I guide them personally through my proven step-by-step system to struggle-free weight loss in 8 weeks or less. I work directly with them over the phone. It is really super awesome, at least that's what they tell me, because they go from being totally stuck to being unstuck and able to just live a healthy lifestyle, which is what you have to do because you live in a human body. And if you are serious about getting to your ideal weight and staying there, you're going to have a healthy way of life, a healthy lifestyle, which includes healthy eating only when physically hungry, stopping when physically full. Food cannot be your crutch any longer. Food cannot be your drug. Food cannot be your best friend, your lover, your everything. Okay? So you have to create a healthy relationship with food if you have any hopes of dropping the fat and keeping it off for the rest of your life. If you do not heal the big problems, the problems that drive you to abuse yourself with food, the problems that drive you to binge eat and emotionally eat and drive your food addictions, if you don't heal the real problems that keep you stuck, then you will forever struggle with food and your weight. Because doing a food diet is only a band-aid on top of the symptoms, and your symptoms are your unhealthy eating habits, your unhealthy eating behaviors, and the excess fat on your body. Those are symptoms of the bigger problems. So anyway, I do really enjoy working with my awesome coaching clients in the Inner Self Diet, guiding them out of their struggles, guiding them into the freedom that they so deeply desire and want for themselves so that they could finally create a healthy relationship with food, release the fat, keep it off, drop the binge eating, drop the emotional eating, drop the obsessions, drop the addictions, and move the heck on with their life so that they can live in a body that they really, really love and actually live a life that they love. Hey, if you'd like to learn just a little bit more, take a tiny, itty baby step, go ahead and grab my free ebook. You can get that at www.easyfunweightloss.com, www.easyfunweightloss.com. Okay, now today's topic here on the JoLynn Braley Show is the truth about restrictive eating. Now, this is not officially a Get Real episode. However, I recommend that you exit right now if you are looking for reasons to be offended, if you're looking for reasons to keep your excuses, if you're looking for reasons to continue to lie to yourself about what it really takes to achieve permanent weight loss, then just leave because you're not going to like this podcast. Also leave if you are of the mindset that you are looking for ways to stop eating altogether, okay, if you have any kind of challenges with anorexia or possibly even bulimia, that's where you eat and then you throw up the food that you just ate, then I don't recommend listening to today's podcast, because I am not here to teach anybody how to live on extremely low caloric intake per day, because that's unhealthy. I'm not here to teach anybody how to stop eating altogether, because that doesn't make any sense. All right, you have a human body, and you are going to have to eat food to fuel your human body, unless you are going to move to India and learn how to survive on manna, and that's surviving on breath and light, and you're not doing that, okay? If you were, you wouldn't be listening to my podcast. You wouldn't listen to any podcasts, all right? You would already be doing that in India. So that doesn't make sense either. All right? You are going to have to feed your body fuel, good fuel, high octane fuel, to fuel your body at an optimum level. All right? Or don't. Just keep eating crap food that has no nutritional value and is highly addictive. And I understand how addictive it is. I understand that you love how it tastes. I've totally been there. And that food is made to hook you and keep you coming back for more. That's part of the system, the marketing. Okay? Nobody who makes that kind of food wants you to eat it only once. They want you to keep eating it over and over and over and over and over again. They want you to keep buying it. So it has tons of it. I'm talking about processed food, junk food, fast food, all the food in the grocery store that's in the center of the grocery store, the stuff that could sit on your shelves for months or years before spoiling, the stuff that you can get at your convenient drive-through or your convenience store. All right, it's all now. Give it to me now. And then you also, because you have this mindset, which many have a problem with today, of I can have it all now, because you can click a button on the internet and get instant words of information or an instant video of information, and then you could go to a drive-through and get instant food, or go to a 24-hour convenience store and get instant food. You also then think that weight loss should be instant, and it doesn't work like that. So it's a really big problem. This whole thing is a really huge problem. But it doesn't have to stay a huge problem if you get help, all right? Get out of your own way. Make a decision that your life and your mental state is worth investing in yourself to unravel this stuff, so that in 8 weeks or less, you can be struggle-free with food and your weight. And that's the work I do with my coaching clients in the Inner Self Diet. Otherwise, what do? You keep looking, you keep listening to podcasts, you keep getting a little bit of information here, a little bit of information there, and it's just craziness. It's insanity. It's madness. It fuels the food obsessions. It fuels the food addictions. It keeps you stuck. Okay, so what about this truth about restrictive eating? All right, what is the truth about restrictive eating? Here's the truth. However you're eating right now is restrictive. All right, so if your normal modus operandi is to get up in the morning, throw on some clothes, hit the McDonald's drive-thru, why are you restricting yourself to McDonald's? Why don't you go to Wendy's or Tim Hortons or Dunkin' Donuts? Why are you restricting yourself to McDonald's? Oh, but you don't think that you're restricting yourself. You think you have full freedom, don't you? Because in your mind, and this is how it is for Many who have this thought of restrictive eating and then they complain about restrictive eating and that they're so restricted. Okay. Oh, I'm so restricted, but I want to lose weight and I want to eat cake. Hey, remember, the reason I could talk like this is because I've been there. I'm not someone who's just sitting high on top of a mountain and I've never had any problems with food addiction, emotional eating, binge eating, food obsessions. I've had all of those struggles. Okay, the struggles I have not had, I have not ever been bulimic or anorexic. Okay, but I've definitely emotional eating, binge eating, hiding food, food obsessions, food addiction, sugar addiction. I've been in all of this stuff. And then delusional thinking. Oh, if I just think positive, then I'll lose weight. That doesn't work either. Okay? And that's not what I teach in the inner self diet either. You do need to live a healthy lifestyle in order to get the fat off and to keep it off. But 92.8% of what's stopping you from doing that is your mindset. And you're crying, and you're cranking, and you're complaining, and you're wah, 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 I want to eat cookies and brownies and ice cream every day. I should be able to do that and be 20 pounds lighter than I am. Guess what? It ain't gonna work. Because the human body doesn't work like that. All right? I am not saying that it is impossible to get to your ideal weight and stay there and have cake sometimes. But having cake sometimes means that, oh, there's a wedding coming up. Okay, and you go to the wedding and you have a piece of wedding cake and it's no big deal. It's not like the ultimate highlight of your whole year, and it's also not the end of your whole year because you had a piece of cake. It's just, okay, I had a piece of cake. Or maybe you don't have a piece of cake. Maybe you don't want the cake. So, without going too far into the weeds of all of the tendrils and roots and ramifications of this entire problem that intersects every single area of your life, if you think that you have a food and weight problem, you are incorrect. You have a life problem because your food and weight problem is impacting your sex life, your bank account, your work life, your vacations, your relationships with your kids, with your husband, with your family. It's impacting your holiday seasons. It's impacting everything. And if you don't see that, then that means that you have a bigger problem because you're not able to see that and you don't have the self-awareness to see that. Hey, remember, I told you to exit this podcast if you were looking for reasons to be offended. So you really have to be willing to get totally honest with yourself and really look at your wah-wah-wah-ness in order to achieve permanent weight loss. Because the bottom line facts are the human body works best on healthy whole foods. Get off the processed food. Eat whole foods. And I don't mean Whole Foods grocery store. I mean Whole Foods regular food. Regular food that you cook and you use a recipe. You add different spices and herbs to in a recipe. And that makes the food taste good. Okay, like peppers. It depends on the recipe. I mean, it depends on what you are cooking. I have a healthy, clean eating recipe for a sauce that tastes like the hot sauce that you get at Taco Bell, but it's totally made from scratch and it's totally clean eating. And I add that to the leanest red meat that you can buy in the grocery store. And I don't eat red meat very often, but if I really, really, really want it, I make that in on the stove without any added oil or anything. I just put the meat in a pan and I brown it and I add this sauce to it. And then I take a portion of that because portion control is important if you want to drop the fat and you want to keep it off. And portion control is no big deal when you have the right mindset. You don't feel deprived or restricted or complaining or anything because it's your choice. It's your choice. Okay, that's the big key right there. That's what removes all restrictive eating, is when you realize that how you eat is your choice. But I have this recipe, and I make this. It's like a Taco Bell ground beef dish, and I take a portion and I wrap it in iceberg lettuce. Oh my God, it is so fantastic! And I had to take time to do that. I didn't go to the Taco Bell drive-through, because if I go to the Taco Bell drive-through, that kind of food has so many additives, ingredients, sugar, salt, all kinds of stuff, preservatives in it, that it makes the human body fat if you live on a diet, if you are restricting yourself to a diet of processed foods. And yes, you are restricting yourself if that's all you eat. Okay, so let me get clearer, give you more clarity on this restrictive eating topic, the real truth about it, because I've kind of talked about a lot of things here so far on today's podcast, which all relate to this whole muckmire of this food and weight problem. But restrictive eating is a mindset. Restrictive eating is a lie you tell yourself. However you eat, you're restricting yourself right now. So I started to tell this story of, okay, so let's say that the way you eat right now is you get up, you're immediately, your mindset is you're not looking forward to your day, you're not happy in your body, you try to avoid mirrors, you try to avoid reflections, and you just want to eat to try to forget. And so you hit the McDonald's drive-through, and then you get to work and there's donuts, and you grab one or two of those, you grab coffee, you go to your cubicle, you're working, it's a food day, everybody's brought something in, you go to the food room. I used to work in corporate America. I know how this goes, okay? You go get some food, or if it's not a food day, then somebody says, "Hey, who wants Chinese food for lunch? I'll go get it. Tell me what your order is. Give me your money." Or Thai food, or fried chicken, or whatever it is, right? And then you get that, and you keep, in your head, you're thinking, "Oh, well, I'm free. Oh, this is great. I'm eating whatever I want." But you're restricting yourself. It's all a fallacy. It's a fallacy to think that you are free in eating whatever you think you're eating, when really what you're eating is your choice to eat all this stuff and then feel bad about it. And then you think that you have freedom because you're eating all this stuff, and you know in the back of your head that it's not helping your body release fat. You know that it's only packing on more pounds, and then you're telling yourself, "Well, I'll start another diet on Monday," but you're totally resistant to that and negative about it, because then you say to yourself, "Oh, well, then I'll be restricted." Well, everything is a choice. Everything is a choice. And what needs to change, if you're ever going to achieve permanent weight loss, what needs to change is your mindset. Because if you tell yourself that you're restricted, if you eat a certain way, if you cut out the crap and you eat whole foods, and if you tell yourself you're restricted now, well, then you will be. And you'll feel like you're missing out, and you'll feel like, wah, look at her over there, she's eating a donut and she's thin. Well, follow her around for 30 days. How many days out of 30 days does she eat a donut? I bet she doesn't eat a donut every day, and I bet she's not eating them for every meal. You're isolating, you're picking out these little examples of these people when you really don't know what their lifestyle is. And maybe she's a runner. And what's her body fat percentage? What is her body fat percentage? Does she work out? Does she work out with weights? Now, another truth, however, is you can never exercise off a bad diet. When you get into the physical side of things, okay, the physical side of things, how you eat and exercise, that's 7.2% of the equation. 92.8% of the equation is your mindset, your inner world, your thoughts, your beliefs, your cranky attitude, All that stuff has to shift into a weight loss mindset where you're excited and happy and thriving, living a healthy lifestyle. Then you won't struggle anymore. Then you won't feel restricted. You'll love it. And then it won't be any big deal. But on the physical side of things, the 7.2%, if you look only at that part, okay, 80% of the physical side of things is how you eat. 20% is the exercise. So this is why if you're eating crappy, but you're exercising all the time, for most people, that exercise will not be able to balance out the binge eating, the emotional eating, and the crappy diet. And for the people that it seems to work for them, it'll catch up with them. That won't last forever. So that's another thing. And why would a person stuff themselves with all kinds of crappy food and then over-exercise to try to compensate? Because that's another madness, isn't it? So then that's another issue. So restrictive eating. There is a fallacy that a lot of people have, that if you have your own business, that now you're free because you can set your own hours, you can do what you want, the world is at your feet because you don't have to live by the rules of the man, corporate America. You know what I mean? You don't have to get up at 7 in the morning and make sure that you're at work at 9 in the morning because you've got your own business. Hey, you could start at noon if you want to. There's no restrictions. You're totally free. Well, here's the thing. Having a schedule and having structure actually gives you freedom. When you don't have structure, it's a myth. It's a myth that no structure equals freedom. No structure equals chaos. And this is how a lot of new business owners get into trouble, because either they roll out of bed and they're working from nonstop from the moment they get up until they exhaust themselves and they go back to their bed, or they aren't working hardly at all because they don't have structure and they have this myth in their head that they have all this freedom when structure is actually necessary. Okay, there's something to be said for structure. All right, why am I talking about this? What does this have to do with permanent weight loss? What does this have to do with restrictive eating? Because when you have a structure for your eating, and I don't mean a short-term diet because that will never last. It has to be a lifestyle. But when you have a structure, when you have a schedule, when you have a structure, a form for your healthy lifestyle habits, that actually gives you freedom. That's not restriction. The only reason that you think it's restriction is because you have never healed the root of what is causing your inner self struggles. And until you heal the root of what is causing your inner self struggles, then you will continue to fight against the structure of having of living a healthy lifestyle, and you will continue to call it restrictive eating, when the truth is the only reason that you say it's restrictive is because you don't have a weight loss mindset. You have not healed the root of your internal struggles with food and your weight, and you don't see structured eating a healthy lifestyle. You do not accept that as a choice, and you are probably also battling with delusional thinking that I should be able to eat pie whenever I want and still be thin. And I'm mad at the world because that's not working for me. So you have to make peace. You have to make peace with having a human body, with how the human body works, with the fact you got to make peace with the fact that just because there is food for sale doesn't mean that you should buy it and eat it. Just because a company has gotten the okay to put this kind of food on a grocery store shelf doesn't mean that it's healthy for your body, and it doesn't mean that you should buy it. Just because you can doesn't mean you should. Restrictive eating is a mindset issue. Living a healthy lifestyle, a lot of people would look at the healthy lifestyle, the clean eating. A lot of people would look at my clean eating habits and they would say, "Oh my God, that's so restrictive." Excuse me, no, it's not. Because I love the food I eat. I am choosing to eat the food I eat. I do not feel deprived. I'm not missing out on anything. When you're eating clean, when you're loving what you eat, when fruit is your dessert, when you're happy with your choice of foods, when you enjoy cooking, when you have made peace with the fact that love is not a word, it is an action, it is a verb. And if you are choosing to show your love for yourself and for your body through the actions of healthy food choices, planning ahead, cooking ahead, portioning out your meals, living healthy and fit, when you have made peace with the fact of what it takes to drop the fat and keep it off, and you're happy about it, and you are at choice about it, then there is no thought of restrictive eating. Restrictive eating is 100% a mindset issue, and it's a symptom of internal struggle. It's a symptom of a lack of peace with everything I just said. And it can be healed and transformed. You do not have to stay in the struggle. You really can get to the place where you feel great about eating healthy, living fit. You really can get to the place where binge eating is not a problem anymore. Emotional eating is not a problem. You can get to the place where you do not feel like you're missing out on anything by living healthy and fit. You can get to the place where you can go out with friends and they're drinking and eating all kinds of junk food and you're not, and you feel great about it. Not in a way of, oh, well, I'd better tell them. Not like that at all. Just that, hey, they're doing what they're doing. You're doing what you're doing. You don't feel a need to fit in. Because unfortunately today, if you're trying to fit in with the masses, with what is average, if you're trying to be average and fit in, then you're just going to have to accept you're going to be overweight or obese and unhealthy. Because in America, that's average. That's not a good thing. It's not a good thing. You are going to be above average if you are going for your best life in your best body. And there's going to be people who don't like that. And if you are going to cater to the people that don't like it so that you can fit in and be average and be like them, then you got to accept the results. You got to accept the consequences of how your body is going to show up. So are you getting what I'm saying? I've talked about several things here on today's podcast. This entire food and weight topic is it's a wide topic. Because it's not just a simple food issue. It's not just a simple weight issue. It's a life issue. And For example, if you're complaining about restrictive eating, then I guarantee you're complaining about other stuff in your life. If you are looking at other people and you're hating on them because it looks like they can eat a certain way and they're thin, and you're hating on them because you wish that you could be like them, then I guarantee that you're hating on other people for other things in life, not just this topic. Mindset is 92.8% of the problem. If the word mindset doesn't really jive with you, call it attitude. You got a bad attitude. You got a bad attitude. And it's that attitude towards your body, towards food, towards other people, towards life, towards the world. It's the attitude that needs to shift. When you can get to the place of peace and health with your human body and how it responds to different foods, and when you can get to choice and peace with healthy eating habits, then what will be the problem? Where will the struggle be? Why will it be any big deal? It won't. Are you getting this? Is it making sense? Are you getting some aha moments? Now, keep in mind, this is just a free weight loss podcast. This is not coaching. Coaching requires two-way communication. I have absolutely no idea who you are. I only know who my awesome coaching clients are in the inner self diet, and then I help them move out of their food and weight struggles. And people come to me because they want me to help them get real with themselves, because it's easy for me to see what is blocking them. It's difficult for all of us, myself included. It's always difficult for us to see what is stopping us because we live in our own stuff. But when you can work with the right coach and they have that objectivity and they can spot the things it's really easy for them to spot, at least for me. I can't speak for anybody else out there who is a professional coach, but for me, it's easy for me to spot the things that are in the way stopping my coaching clients. So coaching is the fastest path to success. That is for sure. That's why everyone who is highly successful, they know that they're really smart to get help, to get beyond their roadblocks and their blind spots that they can't see. And so they get coaching to do that. It's time for a commercial break here on the JoLynn Braley Show. This week's sponsor of the JoLynn Braley Show is my free ebook. Go get it now. www.easyfunweightloss.com. You have absolutely nothing to lose by grabbing my ebook except maybe 5 seconds when you enter your first name and your email address and then click the button so that you can get the email or get the email sent to you that has the ebook in it. And then just read the ebook and use my 3 simple steps to start making weight loss easier from the inside out. See where you get with those steps. What's going to happen? I can guarantee nothing will happen if you never get my ebook. Well, that's not true. You'll continue to have the struggles and the results that you're already living if you just keep doing what you're doing. Does that make sense? Are you getting this? All right. So the only way to get new results is to do something new. And, a baby step is just grab my free ebook, see what you can learn. Get it now at www.easyfunweightloss.com. All right, a couple questions to ask yourself on each episode of the JoLynn Braley Show. I'll give you a couple questions to ask yourself. I highly recommend you write each question down, pen on paper, and then write your answer to each question, pen on paper. Why? Because there is a connection that occurs between the head, the hand, and the heart when you write pen on paper, and If you don't write pen on paper, you don't get that connection. You don't get that connection typing on a keyboard. You don't get any connection when you just listen to my voice. Words do not teach, only experience teaches. All right, so first question, how often do I complain about my food choices when I attempt to clean up and eat healthy? How often do I complain about my food choices when I attempt to clean up and eat healthy? Number 2, how often do I use the phrase restrictive eating and then feel bad about it and then binge eat to break free of the restrictive eating? How often do I use the phrase restrictive eating, feel bad about it, and then give myself permission to binge eat so that then I'm free? Number 3 question, am I really free when I'm binge eating? Or am I just building myself a bigger jail cell? Am I really free when I'm binge eating? Or am I just building myself a bigger jail cell of struggle, of stress, of extra weight, of added years of more struggle, extra time that I could have been spending releasing the fat and keeping it off? All right. Number 4 question, does it make sense to me that restrictive eating is all a mindset? Because really, everything comes down to choice. And if I'm choosing to eat junk food, I'm choosing to eat junk food. If I'm choosing to eat healthy whole foods, I'm choosing to eat healthy whole foods. I'm not the victim. Restrictive eating is all a mindset. Does it make sense to me that restrictive eating is all a mindset? It's my mindset that needs to shift. Number 5 question. Now, of course, you need to pause the podcast to write each question down, write your answers down. Of course, I'm just giving you the questions. Number 5 question. What is my daily practice for getting a weight loss mindset? What are my proven daily steps, my daily system, my daily action steps to transform my current attitude, my current mindset, so that I can make peace with myself, make peace with my human body, make peace with healthy eating, get into choice, get out of the victimhood, get into choice, release this mindset that there's restrictive eating. Okay? What is my daily practice for breaking free of what I call a fat mindset? Fat is F-A-T, fear attracting thoughts. That's the foundation of a fat mindset. All the complaining, all of the blaming, the name calling of restrictive eating. I think that for a lot of people, this restrictive eating label is just an excuse to go binge eat. Oh, I'm being restricted. Well, no, you're not. Not if you're choosing to get a healthy, fit, strong, awesome body. And if you're loving how you're living, if you're not loving how you're living, you still have a mindset problem. Number 6 question. Who is my coach? Who's my coach? Who's my coach helping me stay accountable? Who's my coach guiding me through proven steps, especially if in number 5 you don't have a system, if you don't have a daily practice, if you don't have daily steps that are moving you forward. So then number 6 question, who is my coach? Who's helping me? Who's helping me break free? Who's helping me achieve struggle-free weight loss in 8 weeks or less? Who's my coach? Number 7 question, if you don't have a coach, why not? Why? Why? What's stopping you? Write it all down. Oh, I should be able to do it myself. Okay, well, how's that working? Oh, well, I should just be able to start a new diet on Monday. Okay, how many years have you been doing that? What are your results? Oh, well, I don't want to spend any money on myself. Okay, but you're willing to spend money on your binge food? So is it possible that if you don't have a coach, the real problem is fear? Fear of moving out of your comfort zone, fear of stepping up and being 100% fully responsible for yourself, because you know that if you heal these inner self problems, that there won't be anybody else to blame anymore. And so you won't have a fallback of being able to blame other people for your problems in your life. That's a big one right there. That's a big one that stops a lot of people from really achieving the success they want, because as long as they stay a failure, they tell themselves that they can make it somebody else's fault. But that keeps you in the struggle, it keeps you in the failure zone, and it keeps you feeling bad about yourself. True freedom will be found when you are willing to take 100% personal badass responsibility for yourself, for your behaviors, for your actions, for your results. And if you don't know how to change your behaviors, if you don't know how to change your mindset, then you take full personal responsibility for getting the help to do it. You know what I mean, Jean? That's what you do. It's pretty darn simple. Okay, that's number 7 question. This is podcast episode number 274 of the JoLynn Braley Show, and this is the March 29th, 2018 episode, Thursday, March 29th, 2018. Did you know that this Saturday, the 31st of March, marks the 90th day of the year? And did you make a New Year's resolution 90 days ago to lose weight and keep it off? And what happened? This is an opportunity for you to really get real with yourself, because what's going to change if you don't make a true core change in your inner self? Because that's where the real problem is. Are you going to allow yourself to get to the end of another year and make another New Year's resolution when nothing is really changing, because you're not addressing the real problem? You're continuing to avoid the real problem. And the real problem is not the food. The real problem is not the fat on your body. The real problem is something within your inner self, and that needs to be addressed and healed and released. And once you do that, then you really can break free of your ongoing food and weight struggles, and you will not feel restricted in your eating. You will not feel deprived. You will be at choice. You will be fully at choice. And if you were already in that place where you were at choice, living healthy and fit, and you loved it, what would be the problem? Okay? This is the outcome that I lead my coaching clients to in the inner self diet. If you are serious about putting an end to all of your food and weight struggles, and you know you need help to do it, and you're willing to have the help to do it, then head on over to www.discovery-session.com, www.discovery-session.com. Enter your first name, enter your email address on that page, click the button, and then on the next page, complete the application to get on a complimentary one-on-one weight loss discovery session with me. That's your first step towards moving out of the struggle. And on the phone call, let's find out what exactly is holding you back personally, and what are you willing to do about it? All right, so this is for you if you really are serious about ending the emotional eating, ending the binge eating, ending the complaints, ending the negative mindset, so that you can totally break free, so that you can get into a place where you're living a healthy lifestyle without a struggle, without a fight, and you're moving towards your ideal body. Does it make sense that if you were to get the right mindset, you would not feel deprived, you would not feel restricted, because you would be totally at choice in your eating? If that's what you want, if you want to lose weight and keep it off, head on over to www.discovery-session.com to take your first step. All right, now next week's episode on the JoLynn Braley Show, that is going to be a fun one. Why you feel depressed when you stop eating junk. Why you feel depressed when you stop eating junk. I am JoLynn Braley, permanent weight loss coach, founder of the Inner Self Diet, the diet that actually works, the diet that is not a diet, the kick-ass, amazing, step-by-step, proven system to struggle-free weight loss in 8 weeks or less. I've been doing this since 2009. It works every time, but it only works if you do it. You got to actually do it. You know, you can't just listen to me talk on and on and on and on about it. That's not doing it. You got to do the steps. And I'm so happy that you've been here on today's free weight loss podcast here on the JoLynn Braley Show. Make sure that you subscribe to the show in iTunes or Spotify, Stitcher, iHeartRadio, TuneIn, wherever it is that you're getting this podcast from. Make sure you subscribe. I would love it. I would appreciate it if you'd head over to iTunes, open up the JoLynn Braley Show in iTunes, rate and review the show. Give us a 5-star rating. Hey, I believe this is a 5-star show because I'm not talking about Band-Aid solutions. All right? You can have permanent weight loss. You will never have it if you don't heal the root of the real problem. If you heal the root of the real problem, you can have it. All right? Band-Aids only address the symptoms. The symptoms are your unhealthy eating behaviors and your unhealthy body. Those are the symptoms. All right? So when you head to iTunes and look up the JoLynn Braley Show, make sure you subscribe to the show, and then you'll get each new episode as it comes out each Thursday. But also rate and review the show. Leave a little review after you give us a 5-star rating, if you agree this is a 5-star show, and then leave a little review. 1 or 2 sentences. What's your biggest aha? What is your biggest aha that you get from this podcast? All right. I am told over and over again that the favorite episodes of the JoLynn Braley Show audience are my Get Real episodes. Now, those are once a month. I've been doing one per month since I started the show in January 2013. But people like the Get Real episodes, and that's awesome. All right, so thanks again for tuning in today. I wish you your best life, living inside of your ideal body. Yay!